Hey, welcome to the Ciaran Tiernan Show, and today we'll be talking about the controversial subject and very sensitive subject of abortion. Now, we're going to go to Conor here first to ask about his views on abortion and whether he thinks it should be legal here in Ireland.
I personally don't believe abortion should be legal in Ireland because I believe it's the murdering of an unborn child. Basically, I don't believe it's a woman's choice because it's a choice in order to murder someone. It's not my choice if I wanted to murder someone outside of it. And I just believe that there's other ways other than abortion that you can not have a child, such as contraception and others.
Yeah, but what if, the person had no say, she got pregnant, as in, a rapist? Would you want her to keep that child and go through 9 months of just, they could relive that experience, because it's a reminder?
Abortions in the case of rape is less than 1% of all abortions in the UK and the US. So I think it's too small of a percentage to make such a drastic call when that other 99% of abortions are done for no reason, really.
Yeah, the whole rape thing, fair enough if that's going to remind you of what happened and all this type of stuff, but there's so many people who can't have kids and would love kids, and you're just going to kill that kid. Put the kid up for adoption and let it go to a family that wants kids, you know what I mean?
But would you like to adopt a kid knowing that his father was a serial rapist? And yes, it would have, because that could be in the family. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if it could or not. I don't know if it's inherited, but it could. And then also, Conor, back to your point about 1%. Yeah, 1% of it was was told. But so many people who were raped don't come out and say that they are raped.
I don't know where you're getting this thing about the kid's just going to go out to be a rapist now, apparently. But
yes, it is.
It's how the kid's brought up. If it's not being brought up by this dad who's a big serial killer, it's a loving family who gets very well checked. To get a kid, you get loads of these checks and all this type of stuff.
But that's an argument. That's an argument against nurture, or was it nature and nurture? It could be his nature. You don't know. You know what I mean?
No, I do.
No, completely. It's not anything to do with nature. You can't inherit being a rapist. The only thing.
I'm just saying, how do you know that it's nurture, not over nature? There's no scientific proof for that.
The other thing I think is that so many children are left in adoption agencies, so just putting up your child for adoption doesn't finish it. There's so many children left in adoption agencies that are in foster care.
I think we should change the system of adoption agency and have support for the women if they are a single mother, or if that not focus on abortion. I think abortion, in my opinion, shouldn't be legal in Ireland. I don't think they should have repealed the 8th, but they should set up more services for women who are only mother and have suffered through rape if they have.
But what about the people in Ireland who go over to England, get their abortion done or whatever, but then they have to come back and they have to face the consequences? I think, if I'm correct, in the UK you get so much help afterwards because it's such a traumatic thing, but in Ireland you just come back and it's I just killed my kid.
Going back to the adoption thing, so many kids just are left they just get thrown into adoption agencies and never get adopted and just stay there their whole life until they're 18 and just get thrown out.
Can I make a point there? So would you say that it's better for them to have an abortion before a kid's left and not have them put in an adoption agency where they could be left to suffer for 18 years?
I'd say they should, have an abortion because if the kid's not going to have a happy life, why would you put them into the world and not have a happy life?
What you're basically saying is that it's better to die than being in an adoption agency, which is just completely insane.
But they're not alive yet to die, so...
But they are. No. But they are. They are a person. They're just inside you. They'll come out.
Before it was illegal to have an abortion, women if they couldn't travel to England to get an abortion, they would use things such as hangers, which is just not as safe as getting an actual abortion treated by a doctor.
Well, if you're trying to give yourself an abortion, that's really your own fault, in my opinion. If you can't travel to England, give birth to the child and put it up for adoption.
Financially.
If you get hurt trying to kill your baby, I'm actually glad you got hurt, because a hanger, that's just cruelty. Stop with that now.
Can I just make a point that some people might not be able to afford being pregnant for 9 months? They could be fired from the job or something back in the old days. They would have been fired if they either had to have an abortion and they couldn't afford going over to England, so they sort of have to do it themselves. I'm not saying I'm for abortion or pro, but I'm just saying that we need to look at all the circumstances around it.
The only thing back in the old days, those days are gone. Like, we're not really discussing like those babies that were killed with hangers. Like, that's happened, and I don't think that should take.
This still happens in underdeveloped countries every day.
Well, we're talking about Ireland.
And why would you say that it only matters in Ireland here? Why are you telling us that it doesn't matter if it happens somewhere else?
Because the question was, should abortion be legal in Ireland? And that was the question you asked.
Thanks, Connor.
You know what though? I think abortion should be legal. I think it should be somebody's choice. Like, I get where you are coming from, but there's no scientific proof that it is a kid. There's no scientific proof that it is alive. But then again, also vice versa. Like, because they kill it.
I know. I just.
It's a fetus. It's a ball of cells.
I understand that you see where I'm coming from. I just can't see where you're coming from. I just think I'm right. Babies should not. Think about this, yeah. We're all 16 years old now, yeah. Think about 16 and a half years ago. We were themselves, like, you know what I mean? And we're all grown up now. Have, like, everyone deserves a chance at life at least, like.
But the idea that it's just a bunch of cells really makes no sense, because technically we're all just a bunch of cells, and it's not like abortion shouldn't be as common as it is. You can put on a condom and then you won't even have to worry about getting rid of a cell. So why should it be?
Or pull out.
Oh, it doesn't always work. Condoms don't always work. The pill doesn't always work. None of them always work. The pill only works if you take it correctly, and I know so many people that don't take it correctly.
Well, then maybe take it correctly if you don't want to get pregnant.
It's hard. You have to take it at
the exact same time every single day.
If you really don't want to get pregnant, pill, condom, and pull out. It got like 101% chance you're not get pregnant.
And can I ask now, why does this have to do with the abortion issue? Is this part of it now, or why does the woman have to be the one whose fault it is for getting pregnant? Is not the male's fault as well there for having taken part in it?
No, I mean, obviously some males want abortions as well, as much as females, and men sometimes want abortions and females don't want abortions. The truth is, just abortion shouldn't be legal because it's a living thing.
I feel like sometimes kids, like 16-year-old girls, sometimes get pregnant as well, and the guy that got her pregnant can just go off and go to college and stuff when the girl is faced to have a baby, probably try and get a job to support her baby, you know, not go to college or get education because she has to put her all time into like providing for her baby.
Well, that's just not true at all, because by law the male has to pay at least child support.
That's only if they sign the birth cert. That's only if they sign the birth cert, and not many of them do.
You can sue to get a birth cert. So.
No, you can't.
I don't think you can. I don't know.
Also, back on topic, if you are single, then we should work on the services as we mentioned earlier, and it shouldn't just be left as you left with a child.
Services haven't been worked on. That's the problem.
Then let's work on that instead.
Before that.
Girls, some people need to understand, like 16-year-old girls. Have you ever heard the saying, if you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime? If you don't want a baby, don't have sex. 16 years old. You're not even,
it's not that simple.
You're 16 years of age. Okay. You're not even legally allowed to have sex.
Okay, can we just say now that everyone has their own choice? So who would vote their pro-choice if they were here? 1, 2, 3. And who would vote pro-life? 4, and 1 undecided. So there we have it. Like, many people are not sure what they want. It's fairly even split around young people, and this is still a very controversial issue here in this country. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next week.